Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to negotiate about. So according to the UEFA president Alexander Cerfrin, he has come out and said if the rest of the season is to be axed, he said Liverpool will not be handed the Premier League title, and this is what Alexander Cerfrin has come out and said. Obviously Liverpool will feel hard done by this, if Liverpool don't get handed the Premier League title if the season isn't to resume. But these actually some media outlets still coming out saying that Liverpool are still likely to be crowned Premier League champions. Obviously, as it stands at the moment, Liverpool are obviously 25 points clear of Manchester City, and they only need 2 wins to clinch their first ever Premier League title, and of course to end their 30-year drought. So that means if Liverpool are to get the Premier League title, if the season is to be abandoned, obviously, Leeds won't get the Championship. West Brom, of course, won't get promoted. Obviously, there'll be no winners in League One. There'll be no winners in League Two. And I've been hearing rumours as well saying that relegation will be scrapped. Now, obviously, like I updated you this morning, UEFA did confirm yesterday that they want the season, to end. And this is, the main explanation. They want the season to, obviously, end basically in that. The UEFA, and they basically, they did suspend, Euro 2020 till the summer of 2021, so the teams can finish their seasons and that. So basically, UEFA basically come out and they've basically said all Premier League fixtures and all domestic club competitions they want, they want them to be ended by the 30th of June, and this is what the UEFA have come out and said. Now obviously we're going to know more tomorrow of what's going on, because Premier League clubs are set to hold a meeting tomorrow. It is an emergency meeting to establish plans for the remainder of the season and that. I've also been hearing a lot of rumours as well, saying that there could be 22 teams in the Premier League next season, 5 teams relegated, and the EFL Cup games could be scrapped. So obviously that can increase Premier League fixtures. So if the season isn't to resume, I think it's going to change, or could change, the context of the league and that. So maybe teams aren't going to be relegated, but Liverpool will be very, very infuriated if they are denied the Premier League title. But obviously the main explanation why obviously a lot of matches across the globe have been obviously postponed is obviously due to what happened to Mikel Arteta, because don't forget not too long ago Arteta was tested positive for coronavirus. Don't forget quite a few football players have been tested for coronavirus and that, and this is a very, very serious disease. But obviously the Premier League is suspended for at least until the 3rd of April. But it still remains unknown if, it's going to resume after the 3rd of April or not. But I do believe we'll know more tomorrow, when they've obviously, had this meeting. So, yeah, according to Alexander Cerfrin, he's come out and said that Liverpool will be denied the title if the season is to be axed and if it isn't to resume and that. So it'd be interesting to see, how Liverpool do respond to this. Obviously, the good news is, though, from a Liverpool perspective, is that obviously, if the Champions League games and that aren't to resume, then obviously, Liverpool would still remain Champions League holders, even though, they did get knocked out by Atletico Madrid and that. But even if the season does start to resume, like I mentioned, the FA have got a lot to do. The Football Association, they've got to reschedule all the fixtures and that, that they have currently postponed. But yeah, a lot of matches across the globe have been suspended. But obviously a lot of sporting events in general have obviously, been cancelled due to this coronavirus. So that is the latest news on that. So like I mentioned, UEFA have confirmed they want all fixtures completed by the 30th of June. We know normally the season does end in May, but obviously due to this, if the season is to resume, it will end later, will the season. But, definitely, the season has got to resume at some point. So that is the latest news on that. I want to give you some news, by the way, on Anthony Martial. I want to give you the latest news on him because I've just been reading the Daily Express, and they basically come out and said that Manchester United could get rid of Anthony Martial this summer if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is to fail to get his qualification for the Champions League for next season. Now, reportedly, Anthony Martial's future is in doubt at the football club. Now, obviously, Anthony Martial is into his 5th season at Manchester United. And like I said, he has sustained quite a few injuries during his Man United career. He's also sustained quite a few injuries this season as Anthony Martial. He's sustained quite a few injuries this season. I think he's currently out with injury at the moment because obviously I think he came off injured in our 2-0 win against Manchester City. But he has received criticism in the past as Anthony Martial because he's endured some difficult spells as a Manchester United player. And don't forget, back under the Jose Mourinho era, there was a lot of speculation about him leaving the football club. I think probably the best season that Anthony Martial has endured is his debut season under Louis van Gaal era. Because he did really, really well, to be fair, in his debut season. We got him at the age of 19, and now Martial is 24. So revert back to what I said. So there has been rumours about him possibly going to Inter Milan, because I think Martinez is likely to leave Inter Milan this summer. So maybe they're seeing Anthony Martial as an adequate replacement for him. Like I did say, Inter Milan have already recruited 3 of our players. Obviously, they got Ashley Young offers this year for 1.5 million after Ashley Young endured 8.5 years at the football club. Obviously, they got Sanchez offers on loan, and obviously, they got Romelu Lukaku offers for 70-odd million pounds, because that's how much Inter Milan did pay for him. I think actually, Martial was close to joining Inter Milan back in 2017. Now, obviously, we do know that Martial is predominantly a left winger. But obviously, this season he has been playing in that number 9 role as Anthony Martial. But I think from my own perception, we should revert him back to the left-hand side. I think Martial is on, 15 goals now this season for Man United in all competitions. I think overall, since he joined Monaco, Martial has around 60-odd goals in over 200 appearances for the football club in all competitions. And don't forget, last year, Martial did sign a new contract with the football club. And we did pay around £36 million for Anthony Martial, potentially rising up to £57 or £58 million based on goals and achievements. So that is the latest news on Anthony Martial. So he could be a player that's possibly going to be leaving Manchester United in the summer. But like I mentioned, if we don't get Champions League qualification, then, maybe some of our key players will decide to leave. Maybe we're going to find it hard, to attract players to the elite level. But we will see what happens. So that's the latest news on Anthony Martial and that. Obviously, I've been keeping up to date anyway, haven't I, with all the transfer news and that, because obviously, Manchester United are making plans for the summer transfer window. There is a lot of players on our agenda who we could go in for. And don't forget, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has recently confirmed he wants to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer transfer window, because Solskjaer does believe we need around 3 signings to become title contenders, and hopefully, we can go for the league next season. I expect us to enjoy a better season next season than what we've enjoyed this season, because we've enjoyed a difficult season, enjoyed our worst start to a Premier League season ever. Obviously, last season was very, very disappointing because we finished 6th last season, But it is good that we are making plans for the summer transfer window. It still remains unknown, whether Solskjaer will be Manchester United manager in the summer transfer window or not. I do not know, because obviously, he's still under pressure, even though we've been in a good run of form recently. We are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions. We have won 8 of them. We have drawn 3. We've scored 29 goals. We've kept 9 clean sheets, and we've only conceded 2. So we are in a good vein of form. But, Solskjaer is still under pressure. Revert back to what I said on keeping, this good form up and that. He's still under pressure. And he's aware, Solskjaer, this season, he has been under a lot of pressure at Manchester United. But from my own perception, I still believe he will be Manchester United manager going on into next season. And if it doesn't work out, going on into next season, I think, he will be sacked as Manchester United manager. Obviously, it's Pochettino and Massimiliano Allegri that have been the 2 possible candidates to, replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Manchester United. So there has been a lot of speculation about them going on. But like I mentioned, I've got to give Solskjaer a lot of credit recently. Like I mentioned, his approach to games have been good. We've seen some plan A's from him, we've seen some plan B's, and he showed a lot of tactical flexibility. And earlier on in the season, Solskjaer was very tactically naive in that, and that was one of the main explanations, why I was criticising Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But recently, you've got to give him a lot of credit. And like I mentioned, I credit him when he deserves to be credited, and I criticise him when he deserves to be criticised. So let's just put that into the equation. And that, obviously, since he's coming, Solskjaer, spent around £220 million on 5 players, and so far he's enjoyed 3 transfer windows with the football club. But I've got to, reveal out, the players that he's recommended in so far have done exceptionally well. I think James has done well. Hasn't been to his best in last month or two, but I think prior to that he's done really, really well as Daniel James. Don't forget he did end his goal drought in our 5-0 win against Lask. So that was very, very good to see, because that was his first goal for Man United since the 31st of August, and we only paid £15 million for Daniel James. Manwan Masaka have also been very, very impressed with him. He was a good buy. Paid £45 million for him. Probably is regarded as one of the best right-backs in the Premier League. Harry Maguire, I think he's also done really, really well for us since his arrival from Leicester. Man United, of course, paid £80 million for Harry Maguire. He's the most expensive defender in the world, and he's the second most expensive signing at the football club. But we did make the right decision, by the way, giving Harry Maguire the captaincy on a permanent basis. We're giving the captaincy reflecting on Ashley Young's departure. But his composure is good, his calmness is good, and Harry Maguire's got 2 goals for the football club. Scored his first Premier League goal against Chelsea, also scored in the cup against Tranmere. But he's addressed our defensive deficiencies, but I think possibly Solskjaer's still planning on bringing another centre-half in. Also too, I've got to say, Bruno Fernandes, very, very good player. He's making the difference in the team, is Bruno Fernandes, I've got to be honest with you. He's very instrumental, his decision-making is good. Don't forget, he won Premier League Player of the Month for February, did Bruno Fernandes. And, it's reflecting on his good run of performances. You have got to give Bruno Fernandes a lot of credit. And, he's got, 3 goals and 4 assists so far. But he's definitely making the difference in the team, is Bruno Fernandes. He is our fourth most expensive signing, and we paid around £68 million for him. And I've also got to give Odion Ighalo a lot of credit, because he's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career, and Solskjaer did recently make an admission saying that he could decide to make Odion Ighalo's transfer permanent. Yes, he did. This is what he came out and said, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And even if we do make his transfer permanent in the summer, I still believe Manchester United need another centre-forward. Like I mentioned, Odion Ighalo's got, 4 goals in 3 starts. I think he's also provided 2 assists. And he's confounded his critics wrong, because a lot of people were criticising Odion Ighalo. I don't think he was brilliant with Shanghai Shenhua in China. He did enjoy 3 good years with Watford, but obviously before he came to Man United, played in the Premier League with Watford anyway. But, Odion Ighalo has been a Manchester United fan since he was a boy. Like I mentioned, his comparison to our other attacking players, but like I mentioned, he's a good cover-up for Marcus Rashford, is Odion Ighalo. He can hold up the play very, very well. His finishing's good, and he's highly experienced, is Odion Ighalo. I think he even did say that Odion Ighalo was willing to take a pay cut to remain at Manchester United. So I've also got to credit Solskjaer, for bringing Odion Ighalo in, because Man United were in desperate, need for a, forward and that. But, I think Solskjaer has revealed the 3 positions, where he does want Manchester United to strengthen up. He wants a centre-forward, he also wants a right winger, and he wants a central midfielder. So we need to make around 3 signings in the summer. I think we're going to spend over £200 million in the summer. And if Solskjaer was to be still here, that would be over £400 million he would have spent at the football club. And it would be a total of 8 or 9 players, because he wants to bring around 3 or 4 in the summer. But, Solskjaer did reveal, didn't he? He still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young players to Manchester United like he did do last summer. And as it stands at the moment, we have got a lot of young players in the squad that are developing and trying to improve. And another thing I credit Solskjaer for, he has got a lot of trustworthy in his young upcoming players. Obviously, I think Mason Greenwood, he's one young player that's going to become a success at the football club. He seldom starts in the Premier League. He's played a couple of times this season. Tends to start in the, cup games, and that does Mason Greenwood. But you can play him as a number 9, and you can also play him on the right. I think he's got 12 goals in all competitions this season as Mason Greenwood. Made his full debut for the football club at the end of last season in our 2-0 defeat to Cardiff on the last day of last season, that is. I've also got to, give Brandon Williams a lot of credit. I think he'll become a success at Manchester United, will Brandon Williams. Obviously, I think he was our preference ahead of Luke Shaw. But now, obviously, Luke Shaw's done really, really well since he's come back. So Luke Shaw is obviously, now getting more opportunities. But Luke Shaw's obviously more experienced. Brandon Williams is still inexperienced at the moment because he's only in his first season in the senior squad. James Garner, he's played a couple of times this season. Like I said, Chong, obviously, his appearances have been limited at the football club of Chong's. But obviously, last week it had confirmed he'd signed a new contract with the football club. He'd signed a 2-year deal with an option of a further year, did Chong. And Chong's been at the football club since 2016. We did get him from Fernnoyd. And he's made around 14 or 15 first team appearances. But we have now resolved his future, Chong's. But he should be getting more game time. But I still don't think he's at that level as yet. And this is why I said really we should have got rid of him. But hopefully, he can confound all his critics wrong. If he does get more chances, that is. Obviously, Angel Gomez. I think, he can become a success at Manchester United. But I don't really have a perception on him at the moment because he seldom played for the football club this season under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I obviously, give you the big news, didn't I, regarding Angel Gomez yesterday. And obviously, it was coming from the Daily Express. And they basically explained the reason why he hasn't played much under Solskjaer. That is because, his future has not yet been resolved. And I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is keen on Angel Gomez extending his contract at the football club. Because I think he's only got 3 months left on his contract now as Angel Gomez. I think Man United are willing to offer Angel Gomez around £25,000 a week to convince him to stay. But allegedly it said he was unhappy with this new offer was Angel Gomez. Now, like I mentioned, Chelsea have expressed their interest. I think also Barcelona have been interested, but we do want to keep him because up until this point, Angel Gomez has spent the entirety of his career with Manchester United. He's been a United player, since the age of 8. He's now, 18, 19, is he, if I'm right? And I think he's been in our senior squad since like 2017 or 2018 as Angel Gomez. But so I did say, when is Solskjaer going to be convinced to give Angel Gomez his opportunities? Tuanzebe, the good news, he's now back, is Alex Tuanzebe. He's just recently come back from injury. So there's a lot of young upcoming players in the squad that I think are going to become a success. So the players that Manchester United have been interested in, obviously I've updated you today obviously I've given you the latest news on Jude Bellingham. I give you the latest news on, Jack Grealish. I also give you the news on Harry Kane. So they're the players, that Manchester United are interested in recommending in the summer. Now, obviously Jadon Sancho as well. So say in the summer we were to get Sancho, he'd cost us around 100 million. We'd have to make him our most expensive signing, obviously, and a record signing in the Premier League. We're to get Grealish, he'd probably cost us he'd cost us in the 60 odd, 70 odd million pound range with Grealish, probably from between 60 to 70 million pounds. So that would be 170 million there on 2 players. Probably won't cost as much as 70 million if Villa were to get relegated. Harry Kane, he definitely cost us over 100 million. He cost us 150 million pounds would Harry Kane. So that would be about 330 million or 340 million there on 3 players. But we are going to spend a lot of money in the summer transfer window and that. But like I mentioned, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer now has been at Manchester United over the year. He has now been here for 15 months. And obviously, Solskjaer knows now he's got many expectations to exceed, especially if Solskjaer is to be given another season at the football club. Obviously, the main explanation why we give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job is reflecting on what he did when he was the interim manager, because he did really well in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager, and this run now we're on is our best vein of form since he was the interim manager, Solskjaer. So let's just put that into the equation and that. But like I mentioned, there's only 5 players out of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's. He's still in the process of rebuilding. He is still in the process of rebuilding because, he's inheriting the vast majority of Jose Mourinho's players, because don't forget Jose Mourinho recommended 11 players into Manchester United. And Solskjaer, don't forget, not too long ago was talking about the things he needed to change after Jose Mourinho left. He was saying he needs to change tactics, change players. This is what Solskjaer said. And he was also talking about how he had to overhaul Manchester United after Jose Mourinho left. But he's not only inheriting the vast majority of Jose Mourinho's players, there's still some players here from the Van Gaal era. There's still, Juan Mata here from the David Moyes era. There's still, I think, the two players here from the Alex Ferguson era. So don't forget Solskjaer's inheriting the vast majority of them. And it'd be the same, if it'd be a similar sort of thing if we was to get a new manager in. Say we got Pochettino, he'd obviously be inheriting Solskjaer's players, Mourinho's, Van Gaal's, and David Moyes. So put that into the equation and that. But I'm still very, very sceptical anyway that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a long-term solution for Manchester United. I'd be prepared to back him for now, but I don't know if he's a long-term solution because he's inexperienced as a manager. Is Solskjaer, let's put that into the equation. But on the other hand, the longer he's in the job, he is going to gain more managerial experience. Don't get me wrong, he was a great player for the football club for 11 years. He flourished under, Ferguson's guidance, and he's got that proven pedigree as a player. But these question marks around him, can he do the same sort of thing in management than what he did as a player? I doubt it very much. But one thing I can assure, he won't invoke Ferguson's legacy at Manchester United, but I think regardless of who our manager is, we'll never be the team that we was under Alex Ferguson and that. But I also do give Solskjaer a lot of credit as well because, he has got rid of a lot of the deadwood, since he has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he's come in. Like I mentioned, around 9 senior players have left since he's come in, and we have generated some money for some of the players, that have left and that. Like I mentioned, Young left this year to Inter Milan. Rojo left, he went out on loan to Estudiantes, and I think we're going to consider getting rid of him on a permanent transfer in the summer. Smalling's out on loan with Roma. It remains uncertain, at the moment whether Smalling's going to be coming back to Man United after his loan spell. But Smalling did enjoy 9 years at Manchester United, was it? So he was a long-serving player for us. Obviously, Darmian left last summer. He went to Parma. We obviously needed to get rid of Darmian anywhere. And, we let Darmian go for next to nothing. I think we let him go, was it for $1 million or $2 million? But we actually paid $12.7 million for him from Torino. And we actually got him under Louis Van Gaal era. So if we got rid of Darmian maybe a year or two ago, we'd have at least recouped the money that we paid for him from Torino. But his appearances were totally limited at Man United with Darmian's. Herrera, he left on a free transfer. You can probably say, we made a mistake getting rid of Ander Herrera, to be quite honest with you. Because, he endured 5 years at Man United, didn't he? But, we let him go on a free transfer. Fellaini left after he endured 6 years, was it, at Man United. We got him under the David Moyes era. And we paid around, was it, just over 27 million for him. Obviously, we got rid of Lukaku. Some people say we made a mistake getting rid of him. And obviously, we got rid of Alexis Sanchez. But, we are going to get rid of around probably 5 players this summer. Like I mentioned, I expect us in the summer to get probably rid of Phil Jones. Phil Jones, he's a liability now. And let's be honest, Phil Jones doesn't even get in the team anywhere. He doesn't even get in the team, does Phil Jones? Because obviously you've got Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof that are our first choice centre-halves. You've got Eric Bailly that's just come back from injury, and you've got Tuan Zeba that's just come back from injury that are backups to Maguire and Lindelof. Well, maybe possibly Bailly, could get there ahead of Lindelof because since Bailly's come back, he's done really, really well. And obviously we've got Shaw. He's predominantly left back, is Luke Shaw, but we've played him as a centre-half quite a few times in a back three. So Jones isn't going to get in the team. And like you updated, Newcastle and West Ham have recently expressed their interest in him. They was willing to offer just over £12 million for him, but Phil Jones has been here since the Alex Ferguson era. But he's been a long-serving player at Man United. I think he's made around 200 appearances in the Premier League as Phil Jones. So yeah, I can see us getting rid of him, to be quite honest. We made a mistake last season by giving Phil Jones a new long-term contract at the club. I definitely believe we'll get rid of Jesse Lingard. Now he's one player that Manchester United will get rid of because he's also been a liability as Jesse Lingard, and reflect on his status and reflecting on the number of years he's been here, he should be putting much more better performances out, should Jesse Lingard, and we need to get rid of him. I think he's just got under 16 months left on his contract as Lingard. Also to Andres Pereira, he's another one. I think he's also a liability. I think we've been overplaying Andres Pereira this season, but the main explanation why he has been playing a lot is with the absence of McTominay, but obviously now Scott McTominay is back. So, Pereira won't really get his opportunities. And like I mentioned, revert back to what I said about, Gomez earlier on, if he'd have if his future was resolved, I think, he would have played ahead of, the likes of Lingard and Pereira and that. But, we need to get rid of Lingard and Pereira. So then others will get rid of. We'll look to get rid of Sanchez on a permanent transfer. Rojo will go on a permanent transfer. Rojo won't come back to Manchester United. I'm very sceptical about that. And there's also been a lot of rumours about David De Gea leaving the football club. So let's just put that into the equation. But like I, revert back to what I mentioned, earlier on in the season, obviously, I did say when we was inconsistent early on in the season, everyone was responsible. A lot of the players, weren't playing good enough. Some of the blame did stem from the management, okay, but not all of the blame stemmed from Solskjaer, because this season a lot of United fans have had doubts about the club's ownership. They've also had doubts about Ed Woodward. They've been criticising Ed Woodward a lot. And obviously, we've been very sceptical about our board. But since, that time, our fans vandalised, was it Ed Woodward's Cheshire Mansion, we have seen to have turned a corner, because our actual last defeat was at home to Burnley 2-0. And that was the first time I think they'd won at Old Trafford in like 60 odd years, was it, or something like that. But since then, we have done really, really well. And, Solskjaer has revealed his philosophy at the club, and he wants us to play attacking football under his management. This is what Solskjaer has said. But, recently, we're creating chances, we're scoring goals. Our football looks very, very expansive, so that is really, really good to see, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. And like I mentioned, a lot of players have improved under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's guidance, and that. I've been impressed with Shaw, I've been impressed with Lindelof, I've been impressed with Bay, I've been impressed with the signings he's brought in, I've been impressed with McTominay, I've been impressed with Fred. Fred's done really, really well. I've got to give Fred a lot of credit. Martial's done well recently. I've been very impressed with Mason Greenwood. Obviously, Rashford was really, really good early on in the season. You've got to say Marcus Rashford is a big miss for Man United. Rashford is out, I think, for another 3 weeks, and I think he's back is Marcus Rashford, so that's very, very good news. He's out with a back injury, is Rashford. Maybe he could possibly end his career with Manchester United, because up until this point so far, Rashford has spent the entirety of his career with Manchester United and that. But a lot of aspects of his game have really, really improved. Don't forget as well, it was a shame that Man United didn't get Erling Haaland back in the January transfer window, because he was actually our number one priority target. And, I think it would have been an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer signing, would Erling Haaland. Let's put into the equation. Solskjaer, worked with Erling Haaland during his time with Mould. And obviously, Solskjaer was, keen on a reunion with the player, and also did very, very well at Red Bull Salzburg, did Erling Haaland. But obviously, we didn't get Erling Haaland on the board, unfortunately. But I've got to reveal that would have been an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer signing, definitely. I've already, given you the news on Paul Pogba, haven't I? I've been keeping up to date with what's been going on with Paul Pogba. Obviously, like he updated you yesterday, it did say that, we've made a contract decision on Pogba, and we are willing to, give him an extension in his contract ahead of the summer transfer window. Paul Pogba, of course, has been back in training. He has been back in training recently, and he's been having some personal coaching with Michael Carrick as Paul Pogba. So I think he's now back from injury, which is very, very good news. Very, very good news, isn't it? Let's be honest. But, Paul Pogba's future still remains uncertain at the football club. I don't know if he's staying, or I don't know if he's going to be going. Don't forget, Solskjaer did recently reveal that Paul Pogba will remain at Manchester United next season. This is, what Solskjaer had said. And even Paul Pogba revealed himself last week. He revealed himself last week, did Paul Pogba, that, he's keen on staying at the football club, and he was interested in extending his contract. And the main explanation for this is because, he believes he can form a partnership with Bruno Fernandes. And, he's aware of the impacts that Bruno Fernandes is making. But Berbatov came out, don't forget, recently. And, he's got doubts about Bruno Fernandes and, Pogba as a partnership in our midfield, because he says, they've got the similarity styles of Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba. But yeah, he could possibly stay at the football club. But I don't think it'll have an effect on our pursuit of Grealish. If Pogba goes, we'll look to get Grealish. And if Pogba stays, we'll look to get Jack Grealish and that. And I do have an idea, how Man United will line up with Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba in the team and that. But Pogba's only played 8 times this season for Manchester United. But it's good news now that he has stepped up his fitness regime. It is very, very good news in that. But like I mentioned, it won't be the right solution getting rid of Solskjaer, especially at this moment in time, because, Man United have not really got the structure to keep sacking managers. And, we've already sacked 3 managers since the Ferguson era. Of course, Moyes went, Louis van Gaal went, and Jose Mourinho went. Also, too, it was disappointing last summer that Man United didn't get a director of football, because I did say that's one of the structural changes that we do need at the football club, so... And if we did get rid of Solskjaer, then obviously, it would only cost us around £5 million to get rid of him, because don't forget he's under contract with the club. He's got around 2 years left on his contract. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back on tomorrow.